Hello everybody. Today we're going to talk about trading in your car and some things you should consider. This is going to be a response or a follow-up video to my video I made a couple years ago, which you can see right here. You can click the link above for that one. That video has gotten a lot of comments, and I was thinking about it now because it is 2021, end of 2021. We're about to go into 2022. We are dealing with the supply chain shortage and highly inflated trade-in prices or trade-in valuations for cars. Also, there's been a few changes since I made the video that I talked about, so I figured it'd be a good time to do a follow-up video. Now, I want to address some of those things from that video because I have had several comments, and the video is saying how you can use Carmax to get a trade-in value for your car and then use that to negotiate your trade-in value. And I completely missed how that would be very misleading and seem like I was implying that you're able to negotiate Carmax, but that's not at all what I'm implying, and that's not what I meant. What I was talking about with that original video was you could get an offer from Carmax and then just go and shop around for about a week. The offer was good for 7 days. You could get that offer, and it was almost as good as a check. The only liability being that, I mean, I'm sure they had an out somewhere they could just cancel the deal if they found something after the fact. But it was pretty good. You would just get this, offer letter, and I showed that in the video that I talked about there that I linked, and I'll put a link in the description too so you can see what I was talking about there. And since then, some things have changed. So let's go over what has changed as far as using Carmax for trade-in values. So the biggest update since then is that Carmax is now affiliated with Edmunds.com. They actually purchased Edmunds.com, and there's a lot of news articles about it. You can read about it for yourself. But it's interesting because now you can use Edmunds, and I always have used Edmunds as a great tool for shopping and everything like that. You can do your research, you can compare the different features of new cars and look at this car versus the same car last year, what changed between now and then. A lot of great information. And then from that same place, you say, okay, I really do want to get this next car. Let me see what I can get as a trade-in value for my current car. So from the same place, you can get an appraisal value, and it'll actually be turned into a real Carmax offer. So you can get an online offer using your VIN number or your license plate number. So then you get these offers online, and then it's a really convenient feature, and it combines with Edmunds in a way that makes it a one-stop shop kind of thing. You go from shopping online to buying a car. So it's pretty cool. But now it opens up this thing that you have an offer that's a little more conditional. You have to actually bring it in. I did do some research because I was a little confused. I went to, after I got this trade-in offer a couple of years ago for $5,000, I don't know, the car had a certain amount of miles. Now it had many more a year and a half later.
Sorry, I had to add in some voiceover and post because what I said here didn't make any sense. So just ignore the lip movements and just know that I went back for another offer again.
And it had been way over 7 days, so that $5,000 offer obviously is no longer valid. So I go in after like a year and a half to the Carmax location to get an appraisal, and I was immediately greeted at the front door and basically told, oh, don't worry about that. We don't have to do that anymore. You just go online and do it, and then you'll get your offer, and then you bring it in. And I'm like, but if I do it online and I'm not getting an appraisal, then they're not gonna, what if they don't honor it? What if they see a discrepancy of the condition? And I'm pretty conservative, being in the business formerly. I know that people will always exaggerate their car's condition and say, oh, it's like brand new, but obviously it has 50,000 miles. It's not brand new. Even if it's kept up very well, it's not like perfectly clean, very clean. For the most part, it's generally not. So anyway, even with my conservative, inputs for the appraisal tool, I knew that it was putting me at risk, or the person who was going to be trading in this car later, at risk of starting a transaction for a new car at another dealership, with a part of the deal being a certain amount for the trade-in, and then you go as a separate transaction to the dealer, to the Carmax, to sell the car, and then they say, oh, turns out it's actually worth less than that now. So I'm not saying that Carmax and Edmunds is a new company that is just going to start bait and switching people. I don't think that's what happens. I've heard some reviews online that seem still very positive since then, that they will continue to honor the deals and only if it's like a dramatic discrepancy would they really make a difference on the offer, right? So it's not like they're bait and switching people. It's not a scam or anything like that, but it gives you less peace of mind than you would have had otherwise. But since I've read that, I also did some more research, and maybe that guy at that Carmax who told me that wasn't telling me the full truth. Maybe it was only that one location where they tried to implement that policy. I don't know, but apparently you can still go in and get an appraisal, and you don't have to leave your car there, and you can take it elsewhere for 7 days. I don't know if my experience is representative of all experiences that'll happen from now on since Carmax with Edmunds merger happened, but regardless, it's not quite as seamless as it used to be, I don't think. There are more functionality from Edmunds.com being combined, but there's also some more unknowns, more obscurity, which gives you less peace of mind, and therefore you should be a little more careful with that when it comes to that. So what we ended up doing with this, we got the Edmunds offer. So we did end up going online, getting the offers, $3,500. We go to the dealership, and the dealership says that they'll give like $2,500. So then I say, okay, I have an offer from Edmunds right now for $3,500. So then they offer us $3,000, and they say that's all we can do. So the person who was trading in that car, same car from the original video, had to make a decision, right? She could have taken the $3,000 offer and lose potentially $500 more from another place. But the deal was contingent on that $3,000 cash down, right? So she would have had to buy the car, leave the new car there, and finish all the paperwork with an IOU, go separately sell the car to Carmax, then bring the money back for the down payment, the extra down payment, and then she could get the new car. But that introduced a risk of potentially getting a lower offer, and now she's out of pocket more money than she budgeted, than she negotiated for in the deal. So to make it a seamless transaction, she went ahead and took the $3,000 offer, which was better than she expected. I think the wholesale price for that car at that time would have been probably, I don't know. You could probably sell it privately for $2,500 maybe. You could easily sell it at an auction for like $2,000 or something like that. So to get $3,000 at a dealership trade-in as one transaction wasn't that bad. $500 is not going to break the bank over 72 months on a new car. Not a big deal. It's a lot less headache. So that's what ended up happening. But bottom line is, it's less cut and dry than it used to be. But as long as you know what you're doing and you do your research, you know, it's a great tool. So still recommend using them for that. That was the one thing. And now the second thing I wanted to go into was what's changed with the market and the globe, the entire economy for the global market. Obviously, I don't know the entire global market, but I'm just saying the world has changed since I made that original video, and since everything happened. We have the supply chain issue. We have the computer chip shortage. So that's a problem. Used car prices now are, you know, due to inflation, they're buying a used car is like 26% higher prices on used cars. New car prices are much higher too. They have, many dealerships are selling their cars way over sticker, thousands of dollars over sticker, like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 in some cases. I've seen that for like Honda Civics, the new Honda Civics that just came out. They have a manual one at a dealership local to me, $6,000 over sticker. It's insane, but it's very rare. They don't have any of them. It's the only manual one. So if somebody's going to pay it, then they're going to keep selling them for that price. So anyway, prices are heavily inflated, and you really have no idea now what you might get for your trade. It would be easy for me in the past to estimate trade-in values kind of just randomly guessing, you know? Like you could kind of roughly estimate and be pretty close, but nowadays you have no idea what you're going to get for your car. You might get a lot more, right? So this car I'm sitting in right now, I bought, it's a new one, 2021. It's the same price as a new car with the same thing, same features and everything. This one had 5,000 miles and it's certified. So I paid the same price for this as I would have paid for the new car. But here's the thing, they don't have any new ones in stock. And this is a manual one, and it's a good color. It's black on black. So as far as being a popular color combination and having low miles and being certified with the extended warranty and all that, didn't seem like that much of a too high of a price given the market with the inflated prices. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. I remember even before the pandemic and the supply chain shortage and all that stuff, certified cars with 1, 2, 3, 5,000 miles or so were selling for the same price or more than the new car. So that's pretty typical even before all this. So for them to have this car at that price after the inflated prices, I'm like, all right, not bad. I'll take it. But what really made my decision was not that. It was my trade-in. I had a white Jetta and I purchased it for about $11,000, I think. Yeah. The selling price I think was 11,000. Like 11,500, right? And I ended up getting $13,000 for the trade-in after driving it like 40,000 miles and a year and a half or so. So I was like, I'm making money on this car. That's insane. That's awesome. I was like, sure, no brainer. Let's do it, right? But with these market conditions, they're a lot less predictable than they used to be, and it's really hard to do research. So take everything you're finding in the market with a grain of salt, or whatever they say. Do your research. I would say shop around, talk to people. You know, really, you have to get a lot of information now to understand if you have a good deal. And don't think that the numbers people are telling you are just trying to scam you, because you can be suspicious and you can be defensive, and you should be all of those things. You should be defending yourself. You should be skeptical and suspicious of the prices that are being offered. But I guess my point is that you never know what you're going to get. This current market is like a box of chocolates, you know? I had to add something here, so weird transition, but I had to say, just to add on to that, you have to be cognizant of everything. You have to be looking out for potential scams as always, right? But don't take these high offers necessarily as scams and just be scared away by it or feel overwhelmed by it. At the end of the day, if you get enough information in your arsenal, that'll be the best way to avoid being scammed. So I think sometimes people fear being scammed, or they attribute so many negative emotions to a dealership experience that they end up making it a self-fulfilling prophecy. They go in there and they start off with aggression and defensiveness, and it takes away some of the leverage they may have had, because if anybody's emotionally invested so much in a car, it means they really want it. So just try to stay objective and do your research, and that's the only way that you can actually make a difference that will end up in a result of you getting the best deal. If you go in looking for the best deal and you're anxious that you're not going to get it, then that's just going to be a distraction in your mind. It's going to add a lot more stress, and it can be a very stressful time, especially if you need to buy a car right now during these times, because it's hard to know if you're getting a good deal or not. That's especially the case now. So I'm saying the answer to that is to do your research, and by actually getting real offers, by going in person, spending more time shopping and telling them that you're doing your research, right? That'll be the answer to it. Stay objective, do your research. That's the thing I wanted to clarify. I also wanted to say that this advice I expect to be obsolete within the next few months to a year from now. It is the end of 2021. So right now, what I said so far and what I'm about to say, when I go back to what I was talking about, that is these are my views now and for the short-term future. But for the long-term future, we have no idea what's going to happen. How much of a rebound is it going to be? Are people going to be having cars that suddenly depreciate in the next couple of years when the supply chain catches back up? I'm not sure. Nobody really knows, right? A lot of factors there. But in the meantime, these are pretty treacherous conditions in the market. So it's imperative now that you do extra research, especially if you need to buy a car. Don't let the pressure get to you. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, generally speaking, you're going to find a lot more options in the used car market than you're going to find in the new car market. And you're going to pay a higher price, but you're going to get a higher price for your car. So see what you can get, do your research. I wish you the best of luck. Lots of things have changed, but you could still do it. You could still find a good deal as long as you do your research. And that's it. That's all I have. I hope this addresses some of the things that I mentioned in the first video, and also at the same time helps you in some way with this vague information about, helps you getting a new car, doing a new deal, whatever it is. If you have any questions, feel free to comment me below. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.